Assalamualaikum, sir.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam. How are you guys?
We're fine, sir. Thank you. And you?
Yes, I'm also fine.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
আস্তে আমার মাইকটা অন করো।
Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir. I'm listening. Assalamualaikum, sir. Assalamualaikum, sir.
Is there any hearing problem?
No, sir.
Sir.
A video.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Assalam.
Sir, will you study sir, chapter 10 today?
Yes.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam. The last part of chapter 10 will be held today.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Assalam. Do you have need to rename?
না অন করছি
Okay. All option is closed.
নমস্কার
Yes, namaskar.
স্যার আই এম টু রিনেম
Yes. He's done it. Okay. I'm going to start. Please
Sir,
let me
you can
function. This must be
Sir, you can start now, sir.
but yet the total participant is 37 out of 52. Am I right? Where are they? In the last
Yes.
class, in the last
I
week,
don't know.
maybe 44 participant was here.
Sir, we can wait for another 1 minute, sir.
Yes. Remaining 10 or 11 participant or learner, where are they?
ক্যামেরা বন্ধ রেখে
Can I start? Can I start?
Please, sir. Please, sir.
Okay, sir, you can start.
And today's outcome, maybe you will be able to explain about speed and motion. Though one speed and motion is delivered in the last week, but it is most important topic in this chapter. Basically, speed, motion, and acceleration, and the mathematical expression of acceleration, mathematical problem has to be solved. In this chapter, these are the important topics. We will be able to determine acceleration. After understanding the theme of motion, you will be able to understand the acceleration. You will be able to calculate the mathematical problem of motion and acceleration. Basically, in the STEM, for question C or D, especially for D,
Assalamualaikum, sir.
yes, walaikum assalam. A math will be set on acceleration. So you have to understand acceleration and have to find out or calculate the acceleration. Let's go. Speed. Though this slide is shown in the last week, I am showing this again. Speed. The distance traveled by an object in unit time is called its speed. So speed equal distance by time. Are there any problem? No. Korim goes to 10 meter and then he goes more 5 meters. So the total distance is 10 plus 5 meter. And the time taken by Korim is 5 seconds. So the speed will be 15 by 5 meters per second. That's okay. Just divide time. Just divide distance by time. Velocity. The rate of change of displacement of an object with time is called its velocity. Here, two terms, two different words, two different things. One is distance, and another is displacement. Do you have any problem between distance and displacement? Assume that Korim goes from point A to point B. Then he comes back. Then he comes back from point B to point C. Am I right? So his total distance will be the summation of the distance of AB plus BC. But his displacement will be only AC. Am I right? You will get more idea from the next slide. So I want to say that the difference, the basic difference between speed and velocity is one is direction oriented, another is direction not oriented. Speed is direction not oriented. Direction is not to be mentioned, but in case of velocity, the direction must be mentioned. Am I right? But in mathematical expression, if you have to find out the value of speed, you have to divide the value of distance by the value of time. The time is taken by the object of man. Velocity. In case of velocity, you have to divide the value of displacement by time. If you need, you may write down the two equations for speed and velocity. I want to do the next slide. If you let me permission. Am I right?
Okay, sir. Go on.
Okay.
Next page.
Yeah. Identify the passes. Which one is speed
Sir, can you
related?
please go to the previous page? I
Previous
have
slide.
something
Oh.
to write. Thank you, sir. Finish.
Identify the phases. Which one is speed related and which one is velocity related? Phases 1. These are written by me. Rohim goes to school. The distance of his school from his house is 500 meters. It takes 10 minutes to go. This one passes. And the number 2 passes is when it goes 500 meters in north direction, it takes 10 minutes to go. Passage 1 is related between speed and velocity. Sakib,
Yes, sir.
please respond me. If
Sir,
you get over, please
passage-
answer me. Yes.
Sir, passage 2 is velocity related and passage
Velocity.
1 is speed related.
Speed related. Right. Please explain me.
Sir, Rohim goes 500 meters directly in north direction. That he is going in one straight direction for
Yes.
continuous. It is
Right.
velocity
In
and
passage 1, no direction is mentioned, right?
no direction is mentioned.
Right. Thank you. Then acceleration. The last and final thing. Acceleration is the rate of increase in velocity with time or increase in velocity per second. Right? So from this theme,
Sir, what is the Bangla meaning of acceleration?
uh-huh.
So what is the Bangla meaning of acceleration?
Yes, acceleration is ত্বরণ। এটাকে বলা হয় ত্বরণ। হ্যাঁ, ত্বরান্বিত হয় মানে বেড়ে যায়। ত্বরান্বিত হয় মানে বেড়ে যায়, মানে একটা স্পিড, একটা মোশন নিয়ে আছে, তার একটা ইনিশিয়াল ভেলোসিটি আছে, সেখান থেকে সে অ্যাক্সিলারেট করতেছে। ওই যে তোমরা যে গাড়িতে আসো, সেই গাড়িতে দেখবা যে ড্রাইভার অ্যাক্সিলারেটর চাপ দেয়, দেখেছো কখনো? অ্যাক্সিলারেটরে চাপ দিলে গাড়ি খুব দৌড়ায়, খুব জোরে যায়। হ্যাঁ, ওইটার নাম অ্যাক্সিলারেটর রাখা হয়েছে কেন? এই যে অ্যাক্সিলারেশন, রাইট? অ্যাক্সিলারেশন মানে হলো যে যেটার মধ্যে ভেলোসিটি ইনক্রিজ হবে। হ্যাঁ, তার ইনিশিয়াল ভেলোসিটি is 15 meter per second, but the final velocity is 75 meter per second, right? In this phenomenon, acceleration is occurring. Acceleration is the rate of increase in velocity. When velocity is increased in a car or in a vehicle, then acceleration is occurring. But if the initial velocity is 75 meter per second, after 5 minutes the car is stopped. In this case, acceleration must not accepted. In this case, retardation or deceleration is occurred. Am I right? So the opposite form of acceleration is retardation or deceleration. Or another meaning of deceleration is negative acceleration. Am I right? Acceleration is positive, or in case of increase of velocity, acceleration is occurred. Acceleration is the rate of increase in velocity with time or increase in velocity per second. Basically, acceleration is calculated for time in second. Hence, acceleration equal total increase in velocity by total time. Acceleration equal final velocity minus initial velocity by divided by total time. Am I right? And formula A equal V minus U by T. And
what is initial? So,
initial?
yes, initial velocity.
Initial, first of all, first stage. ইনিশিয়াল মনে হলো যে তোমার প্রথম, মানে একটা প্রথম একটা বেগ থাকবে, একটা শেষ একটা বেগ থাকবে। হ্যাঁ, প্রথম একটা শেষ একটা, ইনিশিয়াল মিন্স ফার্স্ট।
Okay.
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 Formula A equal V minus U by T. And this formula we will use in case of acceleration. Here A means A equal acceleration, V equal final velocity, U equal initial velocity. And the unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Right? So in this slide, you have to observe the definition of acceleration as well as the formula, that is A equal V minus U by T. Hence A equal, here A equal acceleration, V equal final velocity, U equal initial velocity. And beside this, you have to understand that if a car or vehicle start from a stoppage, in case of initial velocity will be 0 meter per second, and in case of when a car start with initial velocity some value, for example 75 or 50 meter per second or 20 meter per second, and after a few times the car is stopped. In this case, the final velocity will be 0 meter per second. আর আমি যেটা বলতে যাচ্ছি যে একটা গাড়ি থেমে আছে, সেখান থেকে গাড়িটা চলতে শুরু করলো, এই ক্ষেত্রে তার ইনিশিয়াল ভেলোসিটি হবে 0 মিটার পার সেকেন্ড। আর একটা গাড়ি চলতে থেমে গেল, সেই ক্ষেত্রে তার ফাইনাল ভেলোসিটি will be 0. Am I right?
Sir, I cannot understand final velocity and initial velocity.
Initial velocity, initial means first velocity. Final means last velocity. If you calculate the acceleration of a car or a vehicle, you have to know initial velocity and final velocity. Without initial and final velocity, it is not possible to find out or calculate the value of acceleration. Right? So a car is continuing. When you think that the value of acceleration will be found out, in this case you have to calculate or read out the initial velocity. And after a time being, you have to observe or read out the final velocity. Then you have to subtract the value of final velocity and then initial velocity, and then divide the time taken. Am I right? অর্থাৎ তুমি যখন একটা গাড়ি যখন তুমি অ্যাক্সেলারেশন যখন তুমি ফাইন্ড আউট করতে যাবে, তখন তোমার একটা ফার্স্ট স্পিডটা লাগবে, ফার্স্ট ভেলোসিটিটা লাগবে। ঠিক আছে? তো ধরে নাও যে একটা গাড়ি থেমে আছে। একটা গাড়ি যদি থেমে থাকে, সেই অবস্থায় কিন্তু তার ইনিশিয়াল ভেলোসিটি 0। ইনিশিয়াল ভেলোসিটি 0। হ্যাঁ? তো আচ্ছা, তারপরে গাড়িটা চলতে থাকলো, দেখা গেল যে সে 1 ঘন্টা চললো বা 15 মিনিট চললো বা যে সময়টা সে চলুক না কেন, চলার পরে দেখা গেল সে গাড়িটা ধানমন্ডিতে আছে, ধানমন্ডি পর্যন্ত চলে গেল। সেই অবস্থায় তার মিটারে কত শো করছে, সে কত স্পিডে যাচ্ছে, তার ভেলোসিটি কত, ওইটা নিতে হবে। অথবা ধানমন্ডি গিয়ে সে থেমে গেল, থেমে যাওয়া মানে কি তার ভেলোসিটি 0, the final velocity is 0, সে আর যাচ্ছে না, সে থেমে আছে, he is in rest, he is not in motion. Am I right? So the final velocity will be 0. Am I right? তো যখন একটা ভেহিকল যখন থেমে যাবে, তখন কিন্তু তার অ্যাক্সিলারেশন থাকবে না, তখন সে রিটার্ডেশন হবে আর ডেসিলারেশন হবে, অ্যাক্সিলারেশন হবে। Right?
Okay, sir.
Yes. Do you have any problem?
No, sir.
Anybody? No. So in case of acceleration, fires, 15305 fires.
স্যার টোটাল টাইমটা কিভাবে হবে?
টোটাল টাইম তো এটা তো ভেরি সিম্পল, তুমি ঘড়ি ধরে থাকবে যে যতক্ষণ সময় সে যে টাইমটা সে নেবে সেটাই টোটাল টাইম। আর যদি কোনো ম্যাথে এটা চায় অ্যাক্সিলারেশন যদি বের করতে চায়, তাহলে তোমাকে টোটাল টাইম দেওয়া থাকবে। হ্যাঁ,
মানে স্যার এ পয়েন্ট থেকে বি পয়েন্টে যেতে যতক্ষণ লাগে
হ্যাঁ,
ততক্ষণ।
রাইট। From A to point B, the time is taken by the vehicle or car. This is the total
আচ্ছা
time
স্যার,
or time taken. Am I right?
ওকে স্যার।
Yes. Any problem in acceleration? This is very important topic. Please response me. If you have any problem, then I will try.
Sir, can you explain acceleration again?
274. Nihan. Nihan, please.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you please explain acceleration?
Accelerator.
Acceleration.
Acceleration.
Yes, sir.
Which point is problem to you?
Sir, mainly the acceleration.
Acceleration.
And how to find the acceleration.
Acceleration. Yes. Acceleration. Suppose you ride a car, right? Then you take a car and you take seat in the car and you told to driver, then you can start now, and the driver will start, right? So when you ride on a car in this position, the initial velocity is 0 meter per second. Am I right? Do you have any problem?
No, sir, but how to find
Yes,
the
yes,
acceleration?
yes. Then after 15 minutes, you reached in the college or school, or in your house, or in a market. Am I right? So the time is taken 15 meter by you or the driver or the car. The same for both. Am I right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then yes. Then but in the road, you want to find out the acceleration of the car.
Yes, sir.
So in this position, in this position, the final velocity we have to take out from the driver, and this velocity is shown in the meter of the car. Am I right? Yes.
Yes,
And
sir.
suppose it is 75 meter per second. So this 75 meter per second will be the final velocity of the car. Now you have to find out the value of acceleration. So put out the value of the final velocity for v equal 75 meter per second minus u for initial velocity. And hence the car was in rest when you ride in the car. So the initial velocity will be 0 meter per second divided by t. T for time. Time is suppose 10 minutes. Am I right? Or 15 minutes. Okay. So the result will be 75 minus 0 divided by 10. 75 by 10 equal 7.5 meter per second square. Am I right?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And this term is to be written in this form. Ms minus 2 meter per second square. No,
Sir,
let's
এখানে কি
go.
মাইনাসটা হবে?
Yes, minus হবে. Minus,
Okay, sir.
yes. When you in word you have to meter, you have to tell meter per second square. But if
Okay.
you in writing you have to write ms minus 2, and minus is expressed for expression per meter per second square.
Okay.
Deceleration or retardation. The rate of decreasing velocity per second is negative acceleration or deceleration or retardation. Deceleration means retardation, same meaning, but deceleration and retardation is opposite meaning of acceleration.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can
Yes.
you go to the next slide because I can't
Yes.
understand initial velocity.
Initial velocity.
Yes, sir.
Initial means first velocity. Final means last velocity. There need two velocity. One is first, another is last. First velocity is called initial velocity. Last velocity is called final velocity. Very simple.
All right.
Okay. But this formula is very important. Formula A equal V minus U by T. A equal V minus U by T. This equation is very important to calculate acceleration in the state. Am I right? What do you mean by 35 km per hour speed? The rate of displacement of an object with time is called velocity. Right? Direction of time should be mentioned with magnitude of velocity. Very simple. It was discussed in the last class. Now, the velocity of car is 35 km per hour, means the car will travel 35 km in 1 hour while moving to a particular direction. Right? If I say another question, what do you mean by 55 km per hour? The velocity of car or a vehicle is 55 km per hour, means the car will travel 55 km in 1 hour while moving to a particular direction. Right? Simple. Can I go the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What type of motion is motion of Earth? On Earth. What type of motion is motion of Earth? The world is constantly circling around the sun on its own axis. It is universal truth. Am I right? There is no fault, there is no error. The Earth is circling around the sun on its own axis. From the creation of Earth till the destroy of Earth.
Yes, sir.
Right. This is rotational motion.
And sir, there is also and the Earth is also circling around the sun on a specific orbit, sir.
Right. Which is periodic motion. So there are two types of motion. One is rotational motion, another is periodic motion. Mahir? one word also is not written. This is the maybe. And the Earth is also circling around the Sun on a specific orbit, which is periodic motion. Am I right? There are two types of motion of Earth. One is on axis, another is in orbit. Am I right? The world is constantly circling around the Sun on its own axis. This is rotational motion. And the Earth is also circling around the Sun on a specific orbit, which is periodic motion. So there are two types of motion. Can I go to the next? Do you have any question? Can I go to the next slide? Are you writing?
Sir, you can go to the next slide.
Okay. Individual task. This task is set by me.
Go to the previous page.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
This question is set by me and the answer is also expressed by me. What is acceleration?
Sir, can you go to the second slide again? Last
Okay.
slide.
This slide.
Yes, sir. I was just writing a little.
Okay. Please, you take less time.
Sir, now you can go to the next slide.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. What is acceleration? This definition of acceleration is discussed a few
Sir,
times.
may I take a screenshot?
Okay. What is acceleration?
Can we do homework of it?
Not. Homework is set in the
Sir,
last.
1 minute. Sir. No one, and please, sir, I want to take a screenshot of the question.
Okay.
Okay, sir, thank you. 1 minute.
What is acceleration? Acceleration is the rate of increase in velocity with time or increase in velocity per second. Right? If you need, you will take the screenshot of all answers. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then explain. No motion is absolute. Yes. B answer. Although an object might be at rest relative to an observer, at the same time it can be in motion relative to another observer. Right? Suppose two persons are riding on a bicycle. The two persons riding on the cycle are at rest relative to each other, but the cycles are in motion relative to each other. A person standing at rest beside the cycle can see them in motion. Hence, it can be said that all the states of motion are relative. Right?
Can you go for the answer of acceleration?
Yes. Acceleration.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now I am going to the question part. C. For C, the question is calculate the acceleration. We have only 10 minutes. Calculate the acceleration in the following diagram. Am I right? This diagram follow this. U equal 25 meter per second means the initial velocity is 25 meter per second, right? V equal 45 meter per second means the final velocity of this object is 45 meter per second, right? And object A goes to the point B, and the time is taken 5 seconds. Am I right? So calculate the acceleration in the following diagram. Your constant formula is A equal V minus U by T. Am I right? A equal V minus U by T. Here V equal 45, E equal 25, T equal 5. Am I right? Let's do the solution. See, here given that initial velocity U equal 25 meter per second, final velocity V equal 45 meter per second, that taken T equal 5 seconds, acceleration A equal what?
Easy.
Can you please go to the answer of B?
Answer B. Please take a screenshot of answer B. We have less time, only 8 minutes.
Okay, sir, I have taken.
Okay.
1 minute, sir. 1 minute. Yes, sir.
So, C answer.
I've already taken screenshots, sir.
For which? A or B or C?
Sir, it's very easy.
Very
Go
easy,
to
right?
B.
Yes. B.
No, sir, D.
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 The last one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to the last one. To gain the velocity. Yes. Please listen to me. D.
Sir, please, sir, go to C. One time.
Okay, C.
Arre bhai.
Right, C. Very simple.
Yes, sir, I am done.
Yes. So I'll go to the question D. To gain the value of acceleration is 10 meter per second. Right? What should be the final velocity in that time?
What?
In the previous question, we have to calculate the acceleration in the following diagram. What was the result? 4 meter per second. Am I right? Am I right? The acceleration of this object is 4 meter per second square.
Yes, sir.
But in question D, or the last question, to gain the value of acceleration is 10 meter per second. What should be the final velocity in that time? Am I right? In this question, what are the given? The value of acceleration is 10 meter per second, or A equal 10 meter per second square, right? In that time or same time, the time is 5 meter per second. Am I right? And initial velocity 25 meter per second. You have to calculate the value of V. So let's go. Right. No. C, D. This is the solution of D. Yeah, given that acceleration A equals 10 meter per second. Am I right? Okay. Initial velocity U equal 25 meter per second. Time taken T equal 10 seconds. Final velocity V equal what? We know that A equal V minus U by T. Or V minus U equal AT. Or V minus V equal U plus AT. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now we put the value of U. Now we put the value of A. Now we put the value of T. 25 plus 10 into 10. Right? So 100 multiplied by 100, 10 multiplied by 10, the result is 100 plus 25. So the gross equal 125 meter per second. So to gain 10 meter per second acceleration, the final velocity should be 125 meter per second. Is there any problem? Is there any problem to you? No.
10 to 10. Oh, God.
No, sir, no problem.
No.
Oh, no, sir, not in.
Yes.
There's no problem.
Yes. Shahad? Do you have problem? No. Sakib? No.
No, sir.
3 to 4.
Sir, one thing, sir. Sir, can you write the other formulas of it, like solving the
Final velocity V equal U plus AT. Am I right?
yes, sir.
Yes. Which are the another?
If there is telling that to find the initial velocity, then what will we do?
Yeah, right.
What will we do if this?
Yes,
if
375. You are very intellectual. You are very intelligent. These are the another formula to find out the initial velocity, to find out the final velocity, to find out the time from the main formula A equal B minus U by T. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any problem? No.
No, sir. Sir, can you write the formulas of them now?
Yes. The next one. Sorry. Question. Initial speed of a car is 75 meters per second. Please take it. It's screenshot. Because we have only 2 minutes something. Initial speed of a car is 75 meters per second. After 5 minutes, it gets stopped. What would be happen? Acceleration or retardation? Explain with mathematical expression. Solve. Here initial velocity equals 75 meters per second. Am I right? 75 meters per second. It is shown in the question. Final velocity v equals 0 meters per second. Am I right? Hence the car is stopped. Am I right? If the car or a vehicle is stopped, so in case the final velocity will be 0 meters per second. Time taken 5 minutes. You have to convert it into second. Am I right? For not for only this question or in this step, but also the whole chapter or whole class. You have to find out if you have to find out the motion, if you have to find out the speed, if you have to find out the acceleration, you must have to convert the time into second. From it may be a minute, it may be hour. Am I right? Right? You have to convert into second. 5 minutes. Yes, the 60 seconds equal 1 minute. So 5 minutes equal
Yes,
5 into 60 seconds, 300 seconds. Acceleration equal what? Because acceleration is, you have to find out. We know that A equal B minus U by T, or A equal 0 minus 75 by 300. Am I right? Because the value of B equals 0 minus U, the value of U equals 75 divided by the value of T equals 300. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
0 minus 75 equal minus 75 divided by 300. So the result will be minus 0.25 meter per second square. Hence the result of acceleration is yes. Hence the result of acceleration is negative. Is the result is negative or positive?
Negative.
Negative, sir.
So retardation will be occurred. Acceleration will not be occurred. Am I right? If the result is positive, in case the acceleration will be occurred, and the result will be for acceleration.
Homework page.
Yes.
Sir, 6 3